Drone flight. Taking off with the drone beside the Big Smoky River and looking at the Canfor Logging Road bridge crossing. I had a chance to finally stop and fly my drone around here. This was earlier in the fall before the leaves all turned. I thought, man, this is the perfect opportunity at the end of a job to take off and fly the drone and look around at the bridge and the traffic crossing the bridge and the views of the water. I had a lot more footage, but we edited down a bunch of the dead wood, so hopefully it's a little more fun to watch. On the left-hand side, you can see these red things. That's frack water pumping. And then I flew the drone out over towards this gravel bar, and in the background you can see a couple speedboats coming. I didn't notice them because I was only looking at a tiny screen as I flew the drone. And then I almost got my drone down so far close to the river that they almost hit it. And that was a little bit of a hairy experience for me flying the drone. But so I zoomed around and looked at the bridge and everything. So that is just the color of the water was fantastic, I thought. But I thought I'm gonna fly this drone underneath the bridge. That'd be really cool. Get a good view of that. The color of the water is like glacial water, is what it looks like comes from the mountains. But as I flew along towards the bridge, and I thought, wait a second, I got to get down low enough so that I can fly directly underneath. And then I saw, wait, there's speedboats coming. So then I turned the drone back around so I could see the speedboats, and then tried to follow the speedboats, the river boats, as it went along. It didn't really turn out that great, but I still got a little bit of a view of them. So here he comes zipping right at me, and at that moment I'm like, wait a second, I better get my drone up in the air a little higher, because that would really be disappointing to get that thing hit. And I'll zoom around and follow the jet boat. And there was a second one behind that I didn't even notice at first. Clear water. It's quite common. You see people be running their boats along. So then I'll fly along underneath the bridge, but I didn't have the altitude in the camera angle exactly as it appears, because suddenly, out of the blue, whoa! The drone, it just suddenly went straight to the side, and if it hadn't been for the obstacle avoidance programming in the drone, I would have crashed straight into that bridge and it would have fell and been lost forever. So I thought that the drone was at this water level, but it must not have been. And it flew straight into the side of the bridge and stopped, and what a panic that was. I was very glad to discover by accident that the obstacle avoidance software actually works. Anyway, so then I did fly under the bridge, but at that point I was a lot more nervous about trying to be that close to the water, because I was also aware that there could be another riverboat come along and crash. So then I flew away from the bridge and then raised my altitude just so I could see things a little bit higher. But the scenery in that whole area is just beautiful, in my opinion. Pretty country. The whole place looks like a picnic waiting to happen, a place where you'd want to go with your family and play on the edge of the river and throw rocks in the water. But I thought, well, the bridge is kind of an interesting thing to look at. So then I flew up higher, and the higher I got, the more I liked the view. And I was flying from on the right hand side of the screen. You can see down there where there's a truck and a wagon and a friend that I'd met there. That's where I was flying from, watching my screen and watching things go by. Like big trucks that haul frack sand and other vehicles as they come back and forth. The altitude that I'm at this point I really like, because it makes the whole world look like a model train set or something like that. Green. Beautiful country. The Smoky River. So then I thought, well, I'll zoom around and do a little panorama of the view from every direction. Up, upstream and downstream. See it flowing off down the distance and straight down below. There goes my friend out of the parking area after visiting. He said, "Oh, I've got to get to work." So, and I've forgotten his name. So if you're a subscriber, forgive me for forgetting what your name was. But we visited there for a while, and then he had to go off to work. So I thought, oh, I'll make a video of him crossing the bridge. That way, when he subscribes, then he could say, "Hey, this is me. Look at that family," because he's not originally from Canada. So he'd be interested to show the scenery of where he works to the people that he's related to and friends back in his old home country. Green water. Looks like almost like emerald green to me. And a river off in the distance. And the direction that pickup is going is into the bush. It basically works its way east. I'm not really sure the direction that the bridge is crossing there is kind of north-south, I think. Couple oil field service trucks with cranes on the back of them and a pickup behind them as they're crossing the bridge. That's a one-way bridge, so you have to wait your turn from one end to the other. If there's oncoming traffic, then you stop and take your turn. Then my battery starts to get low, so I guess I better go back to the safe place to land, because I didn't want to be anywhere near the water again after almost crashing into the bridge. Pretty green trees, beautiful country. So I hope you enjoyed the short tour and all my nattering as I talk about what I looked at. Down we go.